Sawadee Krap. Welcome to you all to part 2 of our Skål Recovery Strategies talk in 2021. Tonight, we are witnessing the positive results of very close public and private cooperation. After a very promising sandbox Phuket opening in early July, the people of Samui have created the second opportunity to restart international tourism to Thailand. COVID-free outcomes in both those destinations will provide opportunities to Krabi, Chiang Mai, and Pattaya, opening too between August and hopefully latest October 21. Skål International Thailand is proud to be part of this tourism initiative. And now we welcome back Joe PoolSawadee, President of the Samui Tourism Association, the man behind the Samui Sealed Secure model road to Samui, Koh Phangan, and Koh Tao. In closing, we are together in this. We are working in concert, and we are wishing our colleagues in Samui great success in the next couple of weeks to come. Over to you, President James.
Thank you very much, Wolfgang. We appreciate your continued support with our club here on Koh Samui and with this new initiative. Good evening, Skål members from around Thailand, Skål friends and supporters. My name is James McManaman. I'm the general manager of Poppies Resort here on Koh Samui and the president of the Skål International Club here on Samui. Welcome to part 2, as Wolfgang said, of Skål Talks Thailand, our second in the series titled Recovery Strategies 2021. Skål International's vision, their statement, is to be a trusted voice in travel and tourism. Our objective tonight, and with all future Skål Talks, is to use that collective voice, bringing our members together virtually, and to share relevant, timely, and critical information that is helpful in navigating our way out of this crisis, and also to share best practices. One very clear silver lining that I see on a day-to-day basis here on Samui and happening across Thailand is the coming together of communities, people helping others, some feeding those that are hungry, others helping those that are looking for work. Well, tonight's collaboration between Skål and the Tourism Association of Koh Samui is just one example of some amazing synergy that's been formed with one common goal. Before I introduce our guest speaker this evening, I would like to mention just a few housekeeping notes. This webinar is being recorded and it'll be posted on our website. We've asked Skål members to send us their questions in advance, and they've done so. If you've got a question during this webinar, please put it in the Q&A section at the bottom of your screen. And we'll do our very best to answer all of those questions throughout the evening or at the end of the evening. Tonight, we welcome back someone who is not only in the know, but critically involved in the process of reopening Koh Samui. During these unprecedented times here in Thailand, and certainly on Koh Samui and our sister islands, Khun PoolSawadee is uniting the efforts to reopen our island in many ways. He's reaching out and bringing organizations together, including Skål, the Thai Hotel Association, and working with the Tourism Authority of Thailand. He's also working with local, provincial, and Bangkok government agencies to help, particularly with the Samui Plus model that we'll hear more about tonight. Now, while Joe's not personally in charge of the vaccine procurement or its distribution, he is working hard to coordinate the information and work with all the different powers that be to make vaccines available to all of us here on Samui. We've invited Joe back this evening with us to share what he knows in an effort to provide clarity at a time when it's extremely important but often difficult to find. So please join me in welcoming back the president of the Tourism Association of Koh Samui, the managing director of Banana Fansi Resort, Khun PoolSawadee. Khun Joe.
Greetings, Mr. Wolfgang, Mr. James, and all the tourism friends of all the Scouts members. It's great to be back here again, and in the past few weeks has been progression on our Samui Plus, the model, or there has been many meetings and important meetings, and also progression. For example, like the cabinet had announced that our model has been passed into, and soon it will be, they will issue the Royal Gazette together with Phuket. So it's only on different approach or different method. But as everyone probably know that we are doing we are using the Samui Plus model, which is a different approach to Phuket Sandbox. It's more like a hybrid system. It's more like a hybrid model, which the first 7 days they will stay in the area quarantine. Which the area quarantine, you can still use the beach, you can still use the facilities, and allowed to go to a controlled area. And those 7 days, they will have to do the 2 swab tests, and those swab tests, if they are past those swab tests, then they are freely to go anywhere in Samui, Koh Phangan, and Koh Tao, in these 3 islands. And a few days ago, government agencies and both public and private sectors of Koh Samui, Koh Phangan, and Koh Tao had a meeting together, because I offered that everyone in Koh Samui, Koh Phangan, Koh Tao, together, the Tesaban, the municipality, the district, and also the association of all of 3 islands, the hospital, the public health department, should do a counterpart meeting. So we share the same mindset on Koh Samui, Koh Phangan, Koh Tao. And in Koh Phangan and Koh Tao, they can accept the day 8 to day 14 from us after Samui model. So they will not have to do area quarantine, but they can do the sandbox after the day 8. So let me explain about the sandbox on day 8 to day 14. The travelers will get to stay, or they will have to stay in the hotel with SHA Plus. So these are the all quick brief of the model. So in the past weeks, I've been to the CCSA meetings, both the small meeting and the big one, and also it's been through the cabinet. I've met the minister, I've met all the key players. Also, the flight that we've been concerning has been resolved now, and only a small bit of issue now. And Bangkok Airways, the VP of the Bangkok Airways on networking, which responsible on the flight schedule, she promised me that there will be flight from Singapore to Koh Samui on 15th of August, and also another channel, which is from Bangkok to Koh Samui, international to domestic, 3 flights a day. So once there's international flight coming to Bangkok, they can hop in these planes and come to Koh Samui without having to quarantine 14 days in Bangkok. So that is a big good, one of the great news for us, which has been the most concerning issue for our model, and it's been discussed together with this aviation center of Thailand and many government agencies, and that's the good news. So I would like to share with a quick update, a small update for everyone today. So the Samui Plus model is the model that we are doing 3 islands on the Gulf of Thailand, the archipelago, which we have all these. We have one airport, and the rest we have for Samui. We have four main piers. We have some piers, and these are the exit that the concerning of the CCSA, and which we also came back, and then we had to fix the homework, to do the homework as well. So we solved the problem by how to control the water transportation. How do we stop people from leaving the island on boat? So the government agency will have the part on this. So this is the COVID-19 situation of Koh Samui. So people today, well, there was one people got test positive. So that's the update news. But I believe that we are doing. I believe that from the vaccine situation and the measurements, I don't think it will be a big cluster. So there is one now, but we are currently doing active case finding. So those are, we didn't have, we had no casualties during COVID-19 from since the beginning, and we were test positive in January last year. We had 94, and also patient admitted in the last 7 days. We had to this data is from the hospital, so it's got Samui Hospital. So, and we had the important thing is that now our first dose is 46.1%, and our second dose 21.1%, which is ongoing right now. And I'm telling, I'll have to tell everyone, and I'll assure everyone that all foreigners on Koh Samui who are doing first will be the people in tourism industry, and then soon will be the resident, and they are queuing everyone, and this time will be the queue for the foreigner as well. So please, from my discussion to the director of Koh Samui Hospital, so everyone, including all foreigners and everyone. So please, we'll inform you again on all the platforms for foreigner vaccination. And on the 27th, Mr. Anutin, the Minister of Public Health, will come to Koh Samui and hand over some vaccines to Koh Samui, Koh Phangan, and Koh Tao on this coming up Sunday. So it's great that after we've published the news and there had been some progress, so people are more interested in our island. So yeah, everyone probably know the Samui Plus model already. Our Samui Plus model is the 14 days, same exactly same number as Phuket. And for this model, I've been discussed to Khun Yuttasak Supason, the governor of TAT, and he agreed that in August there will be a bubble between Samui and Phuket. So in these 14 days, they can travel along from both sides, Andaman and Gulf of Thailand. So this is ongoing. We are under progress, and we are pushing to make it happen. So people, when they come, they can travel to both sides, and we will have more easier accessibility and more channels of people coming in. So on day 0, people they'll have to wait for the RT-PCR test, and then once they are okay, then once it's positive, once they are negative, if they are positive, they have to undergoing on the treatment, but if they are negative, they're allowed to come out to use all the facilities, stay on the beach. They can swim, they can do all the spa or the activities that the CCSA allow us to within the hotel, within the hotel area, not in the room. And then on days 4 to 7, they are allowed to go to some island that the designated area, which for instance, there will be got ban on some beach and Ang Thong National Marine Park, and there'll be some area in Koh Samui which they will announce later. So they are also allowed to do snorkeling on some area in the designated area, and also they can do spa. They can do some certain wellness activities, which Koh Samui is famous on wellness destination. So we are allowed to do some Reiki, yoga, and so on. And then they are also allowed to take a boat trip out to watch the sunset or some area that the designated area as well. And then after the 7 days, they do another RT-PCR test. Then they are freely to go onto Koh Samui, Koh Phangan, and Koh Tao. So, and then they will have to stay at SHA Plus Hotel. So they will have to install the tourist tracking system, like the technology. There will be apps to track them, and there will be COVID manager, the public health volunteer. So it's a hybrid between the manual system and the IT system. So there'll be people helping to track and to supervise all the steps. So to make sure that everyone here will be safe and the measurements has been followed strictly. So it will be at the beginning. So this is a good step for us to learn on all these process. If we have any problem, because I'll have to say that it is the model, and it is a good chance that if we start off as a model or a pilot project, we have to be 100% successful. If we open and there will be a lot of infection, then it will be hard for us to reopen next time. And also the assistance from the government will be hard if we want to just do it by ourselves. So this is the model that we've been allowed to by the government. So this is how to prepare your business for Samui Plus model. This is Samui Plus model will use the SHA Plus. So before you get the SHA Plus doesn't mean only accommodation, but it's also including gym, including transportation, including all kind of tourism business. So that there are 10 types of business. So if you have SHA, then you can apply for SHA Plus. But first, you have to submit or register for Samui Plus. You see that QR code. Then you have to submit the name of your employee and also the list of the vaccinated employee. So if you have over 70%, then they will issue it will be issued by the COVID Center of Koh Samui together with the municipality and the district. And then the SHA that you will have to submit SHA too, which I really encourage everyone to have the SHA Plus, because it will be a standard, which the SHA Plus now has been accepted by internationally now as a standard, as a tourism standard. So people will prefer the operators with SHA Plus. So once you have the SHA certification, then you have at least 70% of all. So you can submit the Samui Plus certificate, and that's the link for SHA Plus. And these are the 10 types of the business. So please get your business ready. Submit as many as you can. Like I really encourage. So we'll have, the more we have, the better choice we have for them. And what is the most important plan for us is the plan to delay or cancel the project, or the contingency plan, which is the key for us to pass or to be accepted by the CCSA, because the system is implemented to able to hospitalize up to 20 cases per 2 weeks. So actually, we can accept up to 89 beds for COVID-19 patients. However, from these, we according to, without these 89 beds are excluding the hospital, or the field hospital. And in order to calculate these, we calculate the number of, this is the ratio, the R naught of 2.2, which is the infection rate of the Delta strain. It is the easiest strain to infect for people. So this is the highest calculation. So if you have the 20 cases this week, next week or another 2 weeks, you will have up to 90 patients. So if we have 20 cases with no exact cluster, or we couldn't trace them, and so we'll have to start to delay on the moving or the transporting of the tourists, and then we'll have the steps on it until up to cancel the project, which we are well planned on this. So it was so all these models, and then all these models, and also contingency plan have been shared also to Got Phangan and Got Thao, and they will have to also come up with, they also have the contingency plan as well. So all these 3 islands will have to share the same mindset, and also in terms of business as the measurement as well. So they are really ongoing about the SHA Plus in Got Thao and Got Phangan. Before this, it wasn't so it wasn't very popular among the hotels in Got Phangan and Got Thao, but now many people would like to join in it. So also these are the updates of this week. So it is coming in progress. So 15th of July will be the day we can start, and I'll have to say, at the beginning there wouldn't be so many foreigners coming in, but the greatest thing is that we have a good start. I mean, all these rules and regulations set up get the people from not traveling when we have COVID. And to fix all these rules and regulations, we have to pass through so many government agencies by ourselves. And it was very hard to, but then we are here. We are up on the news. We are on the Royal Gazette soon, and we are there. Nothing can stop us from now on. So at the beginning, there won't be a lot of tourists at much because there is still a lot of restriction. However, I think of another market because there are people who want to remove their mask. They want to travel freely. However, they're also a market that they see us fit in their lifestyle. They don't want to do mass tourism. They like to. They prefer safety. They don't want to. They prefer safety over something else. There are also a lot of people who see a lot of measurements from us as the safety to themselves as well. And also another thing is I'm trying to remove us from amber list, which I'm trying to negotiating about the amber list from the government. So the government will have to do dealing between each countries, each of our potential customer country, so that they go back. When they are going back, we are on the white list, so they don't have to do the quarantine. So there'll be some more progress and people visiting us soon. So tomorrow, I think the government of governor of TAT also will come together with before he will come before Khun Anutin. So there'll be more update again, and just hold on a little bit, everyone, our friends from tourism. We are nearly there, and as long as the vaccine will be on progress, the situation around for our island is better. So just hold on a little bit, and thank you for everyone for all the cooperation, and we become united now. So Skål, THA, the tax, and all the government agencies, when we have important meeting, we always inform each other, and so we are working toward. So there will be single message coming out, and when there's single message, it's easier for us to do marketing, or to communicate. So it doesn't, as we know, like previously, there might be miscommunication, and also in not just from us, but even from the other side, which the policies were uncertain. There were uncertain policies from the government. That's why we didn't want to do all the PR and marketing now. But after next week, one of the deputy governor was assigned to come here to assist us on the reopening. So there will be a lot of campaigns going for Samui, Got Phangan, and Got Tao. There will be a lot of campaigns, to a lot of videos, a lot of KOLs coming to help us, and there will be a lot of marketing out to all the TAT offices around the world. Also the marketing channels, and also distribution channels. Okay. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Wolfgang and Khun James, for the courtesy of inviting me here, and thank you very much all the Skål members. It is a great pleasure to speaking up in Skål Talk Thailand again.
Thank you, Khun Cho. We're going to keep you there for a few minutes if we can. We really appreciate your insight. That was a great 30 minutes. We've got 30 minutes left, and I do have a series of questions, if I may, I'd like to pose to you, and I'll try to group them so that you can speak to them as they relate to each other. Thank you for sharing the screen explaining what happens the first 3 days, 4 to 7, and then 8 forward. I just wanted to ask you to elaborate. you've shared this with me, but I think our viewers may not realize that on day 8, someone who has completed 7 days in ALSQ can then, pardon me, move freely around Samui. They can choose to go to an SHA Plus hotel, they can dine out, they can go to a spa, and that's an important thing and a change, really, new information, if you will. Is that correct?
Yes, they could do anything like freely in Samui Got Phangan Got Tao. Like they could do anything. They can dine out. They can visit many places. They can do all the activities.
And if I backtrack, pardon me, just a moment from there, you shared with me that the ALSQ are approximately 300 rooms on Samui, those that have been approved, and that next week with the TAT's visit, there will be a platform put into place so that people know how to book those rooms. It'll be one platform, if I understand correctly. Would you please elaborate?
Yes, there are a few. Now there are a few channels to book these ARSQ from the government. There are many channels as well, which also in Agoda or the big OTA will have it as well. So before they can issue a visa, they'll have to do COE. The civic, this everyone probably understand what COE is. So in the COE, you have to pre-book all the hotels in the 7 days and in the 14 days. But then you don't have to stay for 14 days. You can leave earlier if you wish. So it's not compulsory to stay the whole 14 days. It is only compulsory for people who want to go outside of Koh Samui, Koh Phangan, Koh Tao to Bangkok or to somewhere else. But this is the first phase. So we'll have to see if this works, or if there is no infection for a month or 2 months, we can revoke all these regulations as well. So I'll have to do the update and evaluation oftenly on Koh Samui. And also, it's not just ALQ in the first 7 days. There are a few villas that we put in, have been inspected by the public health department of Koh Samui. So we are accepting more, and we also look for the entry level as well, because we don't want all the expensive on all the costs, because they will have to add up all the MOU from the hospital costs as well. But I'm trying to downscale all the price. I mean, all the MOU. I'm trying to minimize it so that it will be easier for people to travel into Koh Samui. But initially, it will have to be like this. But I think with 1 or 2.
Lost audio.
Again.
Thank you, Joe. While we're on healthcare and costs, let me make a statement of how I understand it, and then ask you a question. As I understand, an ALSQ property, there are strict guidelines, including for a certain number of guests, there needs to be a nurse and a security guard and things, and that's what you're speaking of with the MOU, as I understand it. There's a lot of questions about the cost of the rapid test, of the PCR test. Can you share with us what you know about that, the cost?
The PCR test in Koh Samui is actually cheaper than in Phuket side. From what I've talked to the director of Koh Samui Hospital, it is about, from what I've heard, is 1,900 baht or something like that. But we are trying to minimize it as much as possible to make it easier for people to coming in. And then I'm trying to also to request that if they have 72 hours, the result from 72 hours before flying, then we probably don't need the first swab here. Or we don't need the 72 hours result before flying. So that is under discussion as well.
And Joe, while we're on healthcare and costs, is there any flexibility that you're aware of with regards to the insurance requirement of 100,000 US dollars to qualify for a COE, or is that going to stick it as it is?
We don't want that either. Trust me,
I know.
we don't want that in the regulation as well. But we have to follow the MFA, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs first.
Sure.
So after this, when it's better, then we don't have to have. We will reduce some certain regulations and rules, as I said, like they open up first. It was the best courtesy to have us to open right now, because the more, we are trying to reduce as much as possible. But as I mentioned, we have to. It is a pilot project, so if it is, if it is successful and it is working, then we'll reduce bit by bit, and it will. Soon it will be like fully no restriction.
Thank you, Joe. There's been a number of questions come through to us about domestic travel as we move into this next Samui Plus program. What are your thoughts about domestic travel? Will it continue at the degree that it had in the last year? Samui not being the prime destination like Hua Hin, Pattaya for drive-to reasons. What's your take on domestic travel coming to Samui?
Well, amazingly, Samui we have approximately about 300,000 tourists last year, so it is quite impressive that Thai people travel to Samui more. And now, as they have visited here, and many of them really like it here. They have been experienced that it's not that expensive, or there are activities that suit the consumer behavior. So yeah, we have our own fans. Let's say we have our own fans as well. So we will continue on the domestic market, as well as now the tax also collecting the promotion from the hotels and restaurants and the tour and the activities for the tax Wonder Island vaccinated travel bonus, vaccinate travel bonus, so that people who are vaccinated and coming to Koh Samui will get discount on a certain price, up to 50% for accommodation. And I also encourage Koh Phangan and Koh Tao to follow it. So we have cluster marketing, a cluster group. So the voice will be louder. Everyone will, because I'm trying to connect Koh Phangan and Koh Tao into our cluster. So people can extend their length of stay. They probably can. They have more vary on the variety of activities that they like on each places. They can do, I call it island hopping, and 1 day here, 2 days, 3 days each. Yes. So I think domestic market will be with us until at least on quarter 4, because now quarter 4 we are having a lot of inquiries to Koh Samui now, but certainly on Q1 there will, if the situation is okay, I think we'll resume our tourism into normal stage.
Thank you, Joe. Just was it yesterday morning? You guys put out a great quick video showing the paddle boards, the skate park from those folks here on Samui that do that work. It was fun and energetic, enthusiastic, and great. What are your plans for a broader sales and marketing, or I should say, I know you've talked about doing another video. Is that going to be part of the agenda with the TTA when they come down next week?
Yes, because you see, our motto is that people will think Silk Route is containing, Silk Route is quarantine. So our question is that we have to make it less stressful, make it doesn't look like quarantine at all. So they come here to relax. So I pump in the energy in it so they can do more activities that they want, or they can just relax by themselves privately. Some people love having a lot of people around them, having the crowd, having activities like that. Some people love staying privately, love enjoying with have a great time with their family. So I'm trying to do both, but first, the most important thing is that people will have to see Samui Plus as relaxing, as fun, not medical treatment, not all those like on the paper. So it's important that they see or they walk through all the program without having to come to Thailand first. They have to see the perspective. They need to get the perspective in our Samui Plus.
Thanks, Joe. Number of questions about vaccines coming through on the Q&A. Is it still your goal to reach 70% so that we can actually meet the 15th of July deadline with vaccines?
Actually, for Samui, for us, there's been agreement that we separate the vaccine plan from this plan, but it is like a parallel line. Like the vaccine will have to come, but the faster it comes is the better it is. But I have to say, after the 7 days, already the 7 days, they'll have to do 2 swab tests as well, and they did 1 swab test before they coming, which is quite a lot already. They are under supervisor, under the supervise on a lot of those, under a lot of medical personnel. So after that, I think they can travel normally. I think if you remember the statistic I showed last time from the disease control department, that's the number of the risk, the statistic. So actually, I think we'll go through it, and it will be fine. I mean, from the statistic, but don't worry. I mean, we'll get through the vaccine on time.
Thank you, Joe. Where is the best place for an English speaker that doesn't read Thai to go on a regular basis to get up-to-date information? What's your recommendation for our listeners this evening?
There are a few I think I've been reading, or for some of the group I know in Koh Samui, there are the CCSA, the Sapakor of the Koh Samui, the official one, and also Samui Info, and also I've read from Samui Inside. So there are many groups that are quite quick, and they did fast updating, and it's in English. So as soon as there is a new, I see that sometimes it's really fast that I just took the photo and I'm really on the post already. So it is in English, and it's quite reliable because the TAT also have overlooked on this website as well. If there is something uncertain, and I think they will contact them directly.
Okay. We'll put a list together for those of you listening to us tonight. We'll put a list together with our secretary Natalie and Tammy, and we'll put together a list and send it out to all those, including the Facebook page of PR Thai Government, which has the English update every day. I find that quite beneficial to listen to. And then in terms of other questions, just one more here coming through about flights through Bangkok Air. You mentioned Singapore, that they promised Singapore airline by August 15th. Hong Kong, is that an option? And
July
could you...
1st, July 15th.
July
Singapore.
15th.
Yes. For Hong Kong, because Hong Kong, I think the flight, they have to see the demand as well. I mean, for Singapore is not far from here, and also the connecting flight. I mean, there are about 20 to 30 from Charles de Gaulle, from Frankfurt, from Heathrow, from a lot of main airlines around the world. So they come directly to Singapore, and it doesn't take long from Singapore to here. So, but Hong Kong is definitely on the plan of Bangkok Airways from the discussion.
Okay, great. I think, Joe, to be honest, we've gone through most of the questions. Well, there's one more fun question here. What do you think about alcohol? We know Phuket just opened up alcohol for restaurants and hotels. What's your gut feeling for those that would love to go out and have a glass of wine?
Well, if you ask me personally, I support. Well, I personally, when we go out to an Italian restaurant, have when nice vongole, you definitely don't want to drink just still water. It comes with nice white wine. But then I think that yesterday I've seen the order that they reconsider the order on banning alcohol again. So the restaurant cannot serve alcohol again. If I'm not wrong, I've been reading the Gazette again yesterday from Ministry of Interior. But I'll update again. But actually, we want to. I think we can sell alcohol in the restaurant, but for bars and pub, all the clubs it's not available at the beginning from the first phase. But for restaurant, I think no problem. But we have to wait for the official order as well.
So, Joe, you're saying that in your mind, by July 15th, we should be able to have alcohol served in restaurants?
Yes, I think so, because it will be miserable if you travel across the world coming with no drink around here, no good beverage.
Okay. Well, Joe, again, thank you very much. I think we've gone through the questions, the main questions, and you've touched on a lot of them in their opening remarks. Would you like to close us out this evening with anything else? We've got several hundred listeners tonight who really appreciate your insight, your honesty, your down-to-earth approach. So again, thank you for being with us, and I'll let you give us the closing remarks.
Well, thank you again. Once again, I really thank you. It's been my honor to join an update to all the Skål members. And it is nice. I mean, unity these days is important, because unity is the only key to success these days. To unify. Before this, when the economy is normal, or back before COVID, it was really hard for people to unify. I mean, when people have money, they don't talk to each other. But now everyone is on the same page. Everyone are on the same page, on the same level. So now together, I believe that we can achieve. As I always believe that Koh Samui will put Koh Samui on the map of tourism by one of the first place on Thailand, and we finally did it. And also because of everyone in my team, not just me, but I really thank you everyone for all the cooperation, all the patience, all the everything. So please, I'll keep updating everyone, and hold on a little bit. So everything will be normal soon. This is a good start. We are having a great start. I mean, the starting is the most difficult thing to do, like all the regulations and all the things. So yeah, and all the vaccines are coming. So I know it's like hot topics or hot issues, and but I assure you, there will be queues, there will be progress for all the vaccination for Thais and the foreigners as well, even the immigrants.
Well, Joe, I just want to thank you once again for your willingness to speak with us. And I appreciate the invitation for next week to be able to be with you at the TAT meeting as we work together to strategize ways to market all the great work you're doing. To all of our listeners tonight that joined us for our part 2 of Recovery Strategies 2021, thank you. Again, this recording will be posted on thailand.skål.org tomorrow. Thank you, everyone. Have a lovely evening and all the best. Sawadee ka.